Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the 505 Podcast. Again, the second week in a row. We're gonna have to fire you.
We might have to fire you.
I think I gotta turn on
What?
the horizontal.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the 505 Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. If you are new here, welcome to the 505 Pod.
Hey,
Let's go,
welcome.
baby.
This is a great time.
How you doing?
Yeah, This is a fun time.
Speaking of fun, you guys both have some pretty fun hats on. I kind of missed the memo on that one.
Yeah, so if you're watching the pod, I always wear a Mad Happy hat 99.97 times.
You're still repping though on the...
I'm repping on the hoodie,
yeah.
but we have a new hat on, and it's a lemon hat.
Pretty cool, dude.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
There's a nice story behind it.
You want to tell that story?
I do really want to tell that
All right,
story.
let's hear it.
So I'm now the proud owner of an NFT.
Wow.
Thanks. Yep, little golf clap right there.
What is an NFT?
An NFT is a non-fungible token. Fancy little word for just a token that can get you access to things. And I think we're going to try and really dumb it down. We'll go through this really quick because I think it's kind of important. As a creator, this is really cool. It's a really cool time right now because in no other period of time could you ever sell a piece of work. And I'm going to tell you why you should give a shit about this. Because in no other time period could you sell a piece of work and then have that work be resold and ever get any money for it.
Right.
Which is pretty cool.
Right.
So that's a pretty cool thing that's out right now. So I purchased an NFT from a creator that I really admire. His name is Cole Bennett. Cole Bennett is in the music video space. He is one of the, I guess you could say, one of the first people that were making SoundCloud rappers kind of have a start.
Right.
So he had a YouTube channel originally. He's a music video director, DP, whatever. He's a great creative. And he had a YouTube channel that was basically, if you got on this YouTube channel, you were blown up as a rapper.
Because he was almost just like a record label in a way. Right?
Practically.
Like he would just pick the right guys and then make videos for them, and then all of a sudden they blow up.
It was almost like an A&R for fucking SoundCloud rappers.
Yeah. And what was crazy though is like I remember there was one thing with a huge rapper at the time, and they're like, this video has to live on my channel.
Yeah.
And let's pretend that it was Eminem. I don't think it was Eminem, but just for the story.
Sure.
And Eminem was like, you got to put it on my channel, right? And he's like, no, it has to live on Lyrical Lemonade. And they didn't do the video because of it.
Wow.
So he really stuck to this thing, and all of his music videos, they don't live on the rappers like Vivo or whatever. They live on Cole Bennett's Lyrical Lemonade channel.
That's crazy.
So it's pretty cool. So when he came out with this project, this was like a week ago, I saw on his Instagram story, he's releasing an NFT. I'm like, shit, let me check this out. Let me see if this is something I could be interested in. Basically what they were doing was like scavenger hunts all around the country to go and get an exclusive list to get into and get one of these NFTs.
So they're on the white list.
I was on the white list is what it's called, which is just basically an early access list.
Sure.
They were only giving out 500 of these things, and I was one of the 300 people that got to actually purchase one today.
You almost didn't get to get it though.
Yeah, it was crazy because so basically kind of how they were doing it was they'd post in this Discord and they'd be like, first 5 people to meet in front of the Chicago Bean get like a whitelist spot. So then all the people would sprint over, drive or whatever. So in LA they did one at crypto.com arena, and I was pissed because we didn't have a game.
Or else you would have just been there.
I would have just been there and just been walked outside and be like, hey, time out at half. Yo, I'm going to run out and get this NFT on this list. So
yo, LeBron, let's just call it time out.
Yeah, call time out so I can go get this thing. So yesterday I came home from the gym and I get a call from Costas. Costas calls me and goes, yo, Beverly Center, Los Angeles, go get it now. I'm like, holy shit. So I sprint back to my car. We're driving quite fast.
Which you're pretty good at.
I'm great. I don't know if you could have picked a better person to have to go get this.
That's so true.
To get this thing. Yeah. Seriously. We're going, and I'm about 2 miles away, and I call Costas. I go, dude, check the chat and see if they've posted anything. And so Costas and Chloe are in the room giving me like live updates. What's going on in the chat.
We were getting hyped. We were like, there's 3 left. There's 2 left. Brandon, hurry up. Someone's there. There's 1 left.
There was 1 left, and I think I was a mile out, and I was like, we're just going to 4th gear, gun it, we're going. And Chloe and Costas figure out that it is in front of the CVS outside of the Beverly Center.
Yeah, because so he said it was at the Beverly Center in the garage or in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And so automatically you'd assume that it was the parking lot of the
garage,
actual building.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I was ready to go into. I was just about to pull in.
And this guy messaged in the chat in the Discord, he goes, "I'm here, where are you?" And so the guy who was running it sent a selfie and he showed that you could see like the Macy's of the Beverly Center in the background, and then you could see like the red letters of the CVS.
That little heart sign.
And Chloe was like, "That's a CVS, like go to the CVS parking lot across the street." And Braden went and he got it.
I hooked a
Fucking
Yui
hype.
and I was number 5 of 5. And shortly after, like 3 or 4 more people came.
And they're all like, damn.
Yeah, they were pissed, but it's okay because we got it.
Yeah.
And I was really excited. And then we bought one today. It was $1,700.
Sure.
Which is crazy.
Just an investment.
It
Slight
is
work.
it is an investment.
That's
and,
rent.
And I mean, this is very interesting because it's not about the picture for you all listening, because you're probably like, oh, this is stupid. $1,700 on a little.
It feels stupid.
It feels stupid, but where you get actually the value is the utility of whatever you purchase. I'll give you a hypothetical. We put something out, right? Say it was an NFT. Doesn't really matter what the art is, but the utility that came along with it would say be like a convention that you could only go to if you bought one of these said things, or a music festival, right? It's like, now I get to go to his music festival for the next 3 years, and we get a bunch of other little tiny perks that come along.
Yeah,
with
do you
this
know
thing.
what the utility is?
Yeah, so right now it's going to be built upon.
Oh, sick.
So which is kind of cool because, but it is kind of a gamble at the same time. So we'll see if these go up or if these go down. I mean, it really is a gamble. It is a gamble to purchase one of these things.
It's funny because the NFTs also as an NFT holder.
Yeah, you're an NFT holder.
It's funny
Wait,
because
wait.
Oh yeah.
You have NFT too?
Yeah, he's got
I
a
have 3 of
couple
them.
of.
Oh yeah.
I don't have an NFT.
Yeah. Well,
Should have bought the lemon.
Should have bought it. Should have bought a doodle. You know.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck me.
Doodles got hacked. Do you hear that?
Yeah, and so did Bored Apes Yacht Club.
Terrifying.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, the reason why I got it though was because I believe in Cole Bennett
Absolutely.
getting bigger and bigger, producing bigger and better things. And so I'm basically buying stock in Cole Bennett's company, because if Cole Bennett's company goes to shit, that little coin's going to go, or that little NFT will go to shit. If his company booms, which I think it will continue to boom, I'm going to make money.
Right.
Or I'm going to have utility to dope shit that he puts on. And like, he'll put on a party, only the guys with this little token can come. I'm going to get a +1. We're going to be in the same room breaking bread with people like that. So that's why you purchase these things.
Totally. And it's interesting because it's like, whereas stocks that you really believe in Apple, you can invest in because it's publicly traded.
Yep.
Cole Bennett is not a publicly traded person.
No.
He's just someone you believe in.
He just printed $1 million out of thin air.
Right, which is crazy. But you're saying like if you believe in a creator and they come up with NFTs, all of a sudden you're like, I can invest in my belief that this creator is going to continue to do good work and like blow up more.
And that's why people should give a shit about it. And I think the future of it, there's going to be a lot of really cool things that creators will come out with, where you could have a creator that wants to make a short film but can't fund that short film, and they could put out an NFT that would be like, say 1,000 at whatever, $200, $200 US. And if, enough people purchase it, those people get to go to the show. And so that's how you could actually see it being used in like real society and whatnot. It's not about the little piece of art that you buy. It's about the utility that comes along with it.
Are you more hyped about the monetary gain that you might see from it in the future, when it, like, if his company does blow up and he keeps getting bigger, and how much that's going to be worth? Or are you more excited for the utility that comes from the actual NFT?
I think both. I think, to be like quite honest, I don't want to be like, yes, I'm so excited to be a part of this community, because I think it's cool. It's cool to be a part of it, but I think there's also the other side of it. It's like, okay, if I'm going to make $100,000 off of something, let's go Ducks.
Crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Wisconsin. Absolutely.
Let's go Ducks. And then
First and 10, Wisconsin.
Yep, just lost in the Rose Bowl twice, but who's counting? And that is why it's really cool. And I think that it's something that a lot of people are going to get into, and it's something that you guys should do some research on. But this podcast specifically that we're filming tonight, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Because we get to talk about so many awesome creators that actually, kind of started us off on this journey.
Right.
Not to just totally took a left, but I think that when I started, it was all about watching, and I wasn't making anything.
Sure.
And today we're going to give you guys just a little snippet into our brains of like why we got started, and some of these incredible creators that you should check out. Maybe go give them a follow, go check out some of their work, and why, where our work kind of came from. It's kind of cool to think back on that.
Totally. I think like taking inspiration is so important, especially when you're at that critical age of like, I kind of want to like make videos. And it's like, what inspires you to have that feeling, like wanting to make videos? And it's seeing people's work, you know? And I'm sure like you saw like Cole Bennett's music videos. You're like, this guy fucking rocks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Definitely.
inspired you to make shit.
100%. He was definitely one of the early people that I remember watching in music videos in my dorm room, being like, holy shit, this guy's young and he's doing it.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And now I kind of own a percentage of his company, a very, very small percentage, which is crazy to think about.
Do you remember the first music video you saw of his?
No, I don't. I won't even cap. Maybe it was one with Lil Skies, something like that. But he's just put on so many crazy rappers onto the scene and that are just superstars, just rock stars.
I remember watching a video of his on YouTube. I think Complex may have put it out, but he talked about doing the music video for What's Poppin' with Jack Harlow.
Yeah.
And he said that he knew Jack Harlow for a minute, and Jack Harlow had sent him quite a bit of music. And he was just like, it's not right. It's not right. It's not right. And then he sent him What's Poppin'. He goes, that's the one.
That's crazy.
So
That's crazy.
I think another like amazing thing about Cole Bennett is his taste. I feel like you have to kind of you have to have your hand on like the pulse of culture and like
Totally.
kind of have the vision for like, okay, this isn't it, but this is it. If you're talking about an artist and, you know, different music as far as Jack Harlow, like him having the vision of Jack Harlow and kind of knowing that What's Poppin' was going to be that hit for Jack Harlow.
Poppin'.
Which is crazy. That is crazy. You're so right. He really did have to know what was going on in the world and have a really good idea of just like what's going to actually make a banger.
I mean, and that's like his superpower, right? Because like there's a lot of great music video directors that aren't like have like what he has. It's just because he's like, oh, I know that song's going to be, and so people want to listen to him because it's curated through his taste, right?
Definitely.
So interesting. But
I was looking at the Discord too, and it's crazy how like diehard these kids are.
His fans run deep.
Right.
It's insane.
right.
One of the crazier things I've seen. I was a huge fan though when I started of a man named Christian Guzman. So I started out back in, this was 2015 summer or something. And I wanted to get jacked naturally. You know, I wanted to go into college, wanted to get a six pack.
Sure.
Never had one. So we wanted to get one of those. And I was like, shit, well, what do you do? And I just did what I've taught myself how to do everything on. Learned how to drive a car, stick shift on YouTube. Learned how to take care of my little fish on YouTube. So many things in life I've learned on this YouTube app. And when in doubt, I YouTube it or I Google it. And so Christian Guzman had popped up when I was like, how to get into bodybuilding. And this dude, this like handsome dude popped up, Jack guy. I was like, holy shit, this is going to be my guy. Started watching all of his videos. He had like thousands of videos.
You kind of look like him a little bit.
When I went to the first meetup, someone came up and was like, dude, what's it feel like to have him as a brother? Because he has a little brother. And I was like, oh God, I'm not his brother, but I'd love to be his brother. No, but it's kind of crazy because now I feel like it's a full circle moment because I have followed him so religiously for so long, and now he follows me on Instagram.
Oh, does he really?
Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out Christian Guzman. And it's just really cool because I was like, okay, I see this person who was once really skinny, and now I can picture myself as like, okay, I'm now the skinny Christian Guzman, and I'm going on this path with him, and he's uploading literally fucking every day. He does this summer shredding thing where he uploads like every day for 100 something days.
I watched those.
They were lit.
So he's like I watch a few fitness YouTubers, not that I work out myself, but I'm like I really fuck with like the fitness community. So there's a few fitness influencers that I'll watch from time to time, and Christian Guzman is one of them.
Like
he has his summer shredding, and he just started it. It's like on day.
Yeah, so should we just go through like creators that fucking have influenced our path.
I want to go through them, and I also want us to kind of give like reasons for why we fuck with them.
Okay.
And
so I've given my one. Sure. I want someone to hop on too.
What was it originally when you stumbled across Christian? Was it like that you saw yourself in him?
Yeah.
Like what drew you to him?
Okay, definitely that. And the B was like, okay, the guy's using high quality camera stuff. So it was like very aesthetically pleasing to look at. And he was just honestly taking you through his day. And I had never been exposed to vloggers and the concept of just a regular person, whoever out there, filming their day. And I was like, once I saw that, I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about this like genre or whatever this dude is doing, but I want to film my day and have people watch it. And I was like so inspired by this guy. Yeah. And I was like, this is crazy. And then I'm reading the comments. I'm becoming friends with some of these random ass people that are across the country. I'm like, weird. Okay, so we have community here. We have entertainment, and we also have he was making a brand, and it was a baby at the time. It was like it was not even 1 year old. He had just started it, and I was like, okay, so an entrepreneur, which I like. I'm a big entrepreneur guy, business minded person, fit guy, and he's trying to make it in this fitness space. I'm like, I'm following along. This is my guy. Yeah. And now, I don't watch his YouTube videos really anymore. I don't watch a ton of YouTube, but I just really respect what he's done, and he's now made the craziest gym in the whole world. Have you seen it?
It's insane.
It's a crazy.
Oh, really?
No, like not even to fathom. No gym in the United States or in the world compares to the gym. It's like 9 gyms in one.
Oh, that's
It's in
crazy.
Texas, is it
It's
not?
in Texas, yeah.
A lot of space in
a lot
Texas.
of land.
I want to go visit it maybe in the summer. It's just like it's the mecca of body. It has a hotel at it now.
Sure.
It's crazy. But shout out to him. I think he's very inspiring, and he's definitely helped point me in a right direction on the journey.
Totally. I'll go. I don't know if this is the right direction, but it was a direction that inspired me to pick up the camera. I'll drop Sam Kolder. You know,
Bang bang. Start us off strong.
He just like, I mean, there was a time when he came out with that Hawaii video, right? And then all of a sudden, he was zooming in and out of shots, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's what videos are. That's what we're gonna do, right?" And then like people dropped like their own preset packs, and every video was fucking doom, doom.
Yeah.
I always remember looking up like whoosh sound effects because you need them for the fucking zooms,
for the
right?
zooms.
And like I think everyone and their brother made a fucking. Coast actually filmed part of a video. I made a video that was just like a random. I think like I called it Move, you know, because I was real like in college, you know.
Artsy.
And Kostas like filmed me on a longboard, and I like was like go up, and then would like zoom out, you know. This is my first.
I remember that.
and I just used it over and over, like every shot. Like no shot was a hard cut, just transitions only.
And do you remember how sick we thought drones were back in the day?
Drones
Are,
they still
drones
are.
are still so sick.
But I remember that, dude. Flying your drone over Library Mall and just like pissing my pants. I'd never flown one before. And this is like a crowded little mall. Kostas like, you got to get closer. I'm like, fuck no, dude.
I remember I brought my drone to college.
Which drone?
It was the Phantom 3.
Yeah,
That was a great
it
one. I
was-
had that
fucker.
one as well. White and red.
Yeah, it was I want to say it was senior year. It was either junior or senior year, but there was a bunch of people on the rooftop of the hub. So this
Yes.
apartment
We had-
complex.
we had a hub as
and
well.
I brought mine up, and I was like,
I was like with you, I think.
yeah, and I tried to calibrate it, and it was like not working, and like everyone was looking at me, and then I finally got it up, and everyone was looking at it, and I was like, I feel kind of sick.
Yeah,
right now.
I'm flying the drone.
I remember I came up to party. I didn't know you were there. I came up and
You guys
I saw
were friends?
I saw him. Yeah, we
Yeah.
were like at this point we were like film acquaintances. And he's like, "What move should I do?" I'm like, "Dog, you got it, dog. You know what to do." Because I'm like, "What, dude?" The hub in like a nice day is rooftop
It fired-
pools in
it fired
Madison.
at Oregon,
it was
too.
insane. But yeah, Sam Kolder, like he just brought like a level of like quality and like the hyperlapses and like the speed and like everything. I mean, I feel like
Seamlessness.
everything was just like
Yeah.
really like fast, high energy shit.
And the color was prettier than everyone else.
And the color, and it's just teal and orange as fuck. God. Turns out, you know,
Yeah,
we
but it
found
was
out later,
great,
just
but it
teal and
was
orange as
great.
fuck. It was funny because he made a style, right? He like, who knows if he copied it? I'm sure he took some things from some people. There's that hot air balloons over Budapest or whatever it's called. Or what Watchtower of Budapest?
Watchtower of Turkey.
Watchtower of Turkey. That's what it is. That like
That was the first one
that
to
Sam
do
Kolder
it.
like totally stole all of his style from,
Yeah.
but no one gives that credit for some reason.
That video is one of the cool. You
It's
should
so
all
cool,
you should
dude.
all pause
You
what
should
you're
watch
doing
it.
and go watch. It never gets old.
It's like the beginning of that whole
Era,
genre
yeah.
of travel videography, really.
Yeah.
But like Sam Kolder, I watched that. I'm like, okay, I need to travel. I need to fucking make sick videos with drones and zoom transitions. And then it's funny because he like totally progressed out of that style, but a lot of people have stayed in it. And I like, it's funny because I've learned later that like if you can shoot it in a way where those transitions are motivated or like it's like makes sense, it actually can be really cool and really beautiful. And like we actually shot a whole Nike commercial with those transitions in mind. I mean like a evolved version, not just like these shitty, like they were in After Effects with motion blur and everything, but like we used them and it looks awesome because we like planned for it. So, but it just really like, it was so exciting. And it was like, so like how I got my start because all of a sudden companies like corporate videos, I'm like, what if I zoom transition to fucking corporate video? And they're like, this kid's an incredible editor. You know, and I just like would do like 10 frames one way, 10 frames the other, a little adjustment. You know what I mean?
Bang,
Like,
You're
bang.
like, they've never seen Sam
no, but-
Kolder's video.
Yeah, so I use like the Sam Kolder stuff for years in corporate videos because they'd never seen it
They
before
never
because
seen
they're
it.
like 50-year-old white people.
Yeah.
They loved it. Yeah, dude, that's like how I made my. I don't think I'd be here actually. Now that I think about it, without that.
Shout out Sam Kolder.
Shout out Sam Kolder. Yeah,
That's
dude.
crazy.
And now he's just doing yoga with chicks all
And
the time.
yeah, he just released a course and peace.
Yeah. You know, he just only dates chicks that can do yoga, the flying yoga thing.
It's
Oh,
frustrating.
you're really hot, but like you can't do the yoga thing. Like,
Oh, you're not into acro?
Yeah.
We gotta cut you.
It's hard not to like look at him from the outside in and just be extremely jealous because you're like, what can you not do?
That's so annoying.
The dude can backflip. He can do everything.
And he can like play guitar too.
He's shredded ripped.
Yeah.
He's like he can do all
And
the
you
video
know
stuff.
he doesn't have a gym out there.
No, he just does
flips.
He just push-ups and shit.
What a beast.
Yeah, he's probably just backflip for
He does
workout.
calisthenics.
Yeah, he's like
Good
real
looking
good
son of a
looking.
bitch.
Yeah, and then I remember I saw that fucking video, and all of a sudden he's just shredding on guitar too, and I was like, this fucking guy.
Yeah.
He got great facial hair if he wants it, but doesn't need it. You know,
I also think it's funny because so many people tried to emulate him.
so many.
And ruined it, huh?
Not that it was ruined. It was kind of ruined, but then you would watch other people's video and be like, man, Sam just does it better.
Yeah,
Because you'll never be better though than the OG.
Exactly.
That's true.
You know?
All right, Costa, what
Give
do you
me
got?
one.
Okay, so this is someone who I found more recent. It wasn't someone who kind of like you guys who was like at the very start, but I want to give a huge shout out to him. I've never met him, hopefully soon. His name's Karl Shakur, and he makes content on Instagram, YouTube, and a little bit of TikTok. But he's one of my favorite creators on Instagram specifically just because his editing style is so good. Like,
What is it?
his colors are like vibrant but not too saturated.
Sure.
It's everything's super cohesive.
What kind of stuff does he do?
It's travel.
Oh, sure.
He's a dual threat. He does
Scary.
photo and video, and he's like really good at both. He's really good at storytelling too through on his YouTube channel. And he's one of the most, if not the most, from who I follow, consistent creators. He posts so many stories every day, like high quality stuff. He's posting 1 to 2 Instagram posts every single day. Like he's just on it. He travels a ton, and he's really good at like executing creative shoots. Kind of similar to how we were talking to Kyle. Kyle is actually good friends with him, and he'll just be like, oh, I want to do this kind of shoot. And he'll just like execute it at the highest level. And I'm always looking at his stuff like, dude, I think you're just like a pure content creator through and through and just like a creative.
Yeah.
And I'm super inspired by all of his stuff. And he travels so fucking much, always in the coolest places. I always just like find myself very inspired by his content.
He's one of my follows. He's sick.
I gotta follow him.
I love
We should have him
following
on the pod.
We should have him on the pod.
He'll
He'll get on the pod eventually.
It's a goal of mine for sure.
Yeah, he's a badass.
Fig, you want to rip one?
Yeah, I'll rip one. Okay, this is the Godfather,
The Godfather of them all.
the Godfather of them all.
I just got my pants ready.
Yeah,
dude.
I'm getting a little goosebumps just thinking about it. Casey Neistat is number 2 on this list for me.
Who's that?
Casey Neistat.
I'll have to check his stuff out. I don't think I know.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Casey Neistat is the godfather of filmmaking. And I think that
That's not a filmmaking. Hitchcock just rolled over in his grave. But let's say YouTube filmmaking.
that's
shall
right.
we?
That's right. Yeah,
Sure.
you know what I was going
Yeah,
for.
yeah, of course.
Of YouTube. I'll give him YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like he's the OG of YouTube.
Of like making like cool cinematic storytelling, travel, all the videos.
I
remember
the videos were so cool.
They're so like fun and interesting. I remember I saw Make It Count in my friend Dan Breer, big shout out, showed it to me in like, I don't know, maybe 9th or 10th grade. And he was like, this is what videos are. This is cool. This is what you should do, basically is what he said. And I watched it like 20 times in a row. I just couldn't get enough of it because he was jumping off cliffs. I love jumping off cliffs, dude. He was just like running. God, that video is like why I was like, okay, it's time to make videos. That's why I picked up a camera for sure, is that video.
I still remember watching that video in
blew my mind.
In my dining room when I must have been like freshman year of college of high school, sophomore year.
Yeah, it's right around then.
And I just remember watching it and showing my mom and being like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
I showed my mom too.
Yeah, I showed my parents. What's up with
so
that?
fun.
Why was it so parent facing, dude?
Dude, because his content wasn't like, he never cussed or anything.
Right, but it was also just like so inspiring.
No, I know. And I think what was crazy was even like to him, he would say like the worst of his videos still had a story, which is wild. And I think it's something that we can all take from. And it's like, we're all trying to get aspects of story into your pieces.
Right.
And so it's so cool to go back and watch one of his vlogs and be like, the story
so
today was
cool.
going to the airport, or like whatever it was for him, you know, or like he was like, he could make fixing a soap bar holder in your shower
So interesting.
the most entertaining thing in the world.
Yeah.
And I think that's what was so cool about him was he didn't need to and I would catch myself being like when I was young in college specifically, I'd be like, dude, I'm not traveling right now. Can't make stuff if I'm not traveling.
Totally.
And I think every creator says that and uses an excuse where they're like, yo, I don't live in a sick city. And you're like, go look at what Casey Neistat did 4 years ago, just in his little time in his apartment in New York City.
Yeah, it's insane.
Without even leaving the apartment.
Right, it's insane.
And I think it really makes you think about and just be like grateful for what you got and be like, okay, story's what wins. Story's what's always gonna win. Pretty shots will always.
He always had like always like these weird cameras. He always had such a point of view, which was cool.
Rough, dude. Dude, I still open boxes like I do because of Casey Neistat.
Oh yeah, dude.
I beat the shit out of boxes when they come to the house.
And just like his mentality of like everything of like
right
how
there.
it should be. Nothing should be just like held perfectly. Just like grab it, use it, fucking like go fast, break things. Like I just love that shit. I'm actually wearing if you're watching, I'm wearing the Tom Sachs shirt, the Godfather of Casey. Basically.
There it is. Yeah,
he's like the artist that employed them and like taught them their style, basically.
Kind of like it's crazy.
I like what you said though, rough. Like he
So
never
rough.
was like talking about specs of a camera.
Oh yeah,
and it was never like the prettiest. He's not like the craziest cinematographer.
No,
like
not at
he
all.
like would throw up drone shots and you'd be like, holy shit, he's like the first one with the drone type of thing. But it was never like unbelievably pretty cinematic shots. And that's what I think was so cool is like he didn't let his gear
Right.
or like the need to like make something so pretty get in the way. It was more so about the story and always about the story first. And that's why I think his stuff was so great.
Which I agree. Two things. It's like it's interesting because I remember like he's not like an insane like oh my god that shot's insanely
Exactly.
beautiful, but he would just like I remember watching his old videos where he's like I think there's one where he like goes to like get like a love letter to Candace or whatever. It's like pre-vlog
good video.
everything.
I've seen that
And I just
video.
remember he's like putting a box in a truck and I'm like oh he put the truck like or the camera like in the back of the truck. So when he puts the box in front of it, it's like really interesting. I just remember thinking like oh he just puts cameras in weird places because why not, dude?
Yeah.
But it's interesting like you're saying he doesn't have like he never had like the craziest gear or like the craziest shots that you can't comprehend. You can like comprehend everything he's doing. He's just doing it so he's kind of like why everyone loves Steph Curry so fucking much because he's like 6'3". It's like attainable. If you just shot a million threes, you could make it to the pros. You don't have to be fucking LeBron, like 7-foot monster, you know? It's like Casey was attainable. He's just so good at it.
That was the other thing was I think that everyone saw a piece of themselves in those videos where it was like, okay, like, and he talked about his struggles of being really poor, like super poor and like being on food stamps with his
Right.
little baby Owen and like trying to make it and like, and his wife and they're arguing and shit. It was like, it was so not fake. And that's what social media is right now. And I think it's catering away or it's tearing away from that right now. But there's still the struggle of people trying to make everything super polished and like, dude, fuck that. Just make stuff.
Yeah.
Make stuff as frequently as you can. And I think you'll never go wrong.
And he's so specific.
Oh, he's
in
specific.
who he is.
I could
you
do
know
a
what I
whole
mean?
pod on how much I love this guy.
Me too. But like I love like
should we turn that into?
like
It's low-key.
everything he does is so like oh that's such a Casey thing to do. And I love people like that.
I think, and what you got to admire, the last thing I'll say is just Casey's a number one. And I think that if you go look at traditional number ones, like you know who number ones are, you know, he's obsessive
We're so obsessive.
and he's very, very consistent. And you
Right.
can never beat an obsessed, consistent person who's always trying something.
That's so true.
I stand by it.
Absolutely, dude.
And he's just great at what he does.
I also love how like the first couple people that we talked about were like, God, these guys are just like good looking and like talented filmmakers, and like Casey's like not. And he's just like an older guy, and I think that's just like the coolest thing. I remember showing my friend a video of his, and I was like, "Yo, this is my favorite YouTuber," and he's like, "What the fuck? This guy's like 40." And I'm like, "No, yeah, but he's like the
but
fucking
he
coolest."
rocks,
Yeah, that's another thing I admire about him. He lives life to the fucking fullest.
Yeah, he does.
He's like a fucking kid, but he's like 40.
Right. Yeah.
So sick.
Tell me I'm 40. Okay. Oh, my turn. I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with a recent one. This goes did. When I started like doing a lot of car stuff, right? When I was like, okay, I need to figure out how to shoot cars. I hadn't really done it before. I was like, okay, who's the GOAT? And I just did some Instagramming. Aaron Brimhall, he's the GOAT. The way he shoots photos is insane. And then I got to spend like 3 days with them making that Kia documentary about him. And I was like, it was just like the fucking heaven. It was similar to you where I was like so obsessed with him for like months just because it was like all I looked at because I was like, I need to get better at cars. So I just looked at his whole thing. And then I remember he like followed me like the third day we were like hanging out, just like shooting the shit. And I was like, damn, dude. He was like, it was so funny. He like posted a video of me, and like my like girlfriend was involved. Like, he was like DMing her. Like, it was like funny, like not like gross, don't worry. It was so funny, and it was just like so weird to see someone that like I like looked up to so hard, just like chilling with like people I know. You know what I mean? Like, but the way this dude like captures speed in a car, because cars are like the unique thing. You got to show like the unique thing about like how Kostas talks about like the unique thing about a venue is like the chandelier or like what makes the DJ specific. You got to shoot that. Cars, like their thing, they go fucking fast, right? And it's really important to capture like the speed, and he does it better than anyone. Every car he shoots looks like it's going 1,000,000 miles per hour because like he gets the right motion blur, all like the textures coming off the car, like coming right at the camera. Like it's just so cool to see. And he makes cars, like a lot of people shoot cars very technically, where it's like very clean, very like billboard looking, and his are just like gritty and like cool, and like you just like fucking get like a fucking boner every time you look at him, you know?
What was the biggest tip you took away, or like biggest takeaway you got from spending 3 days with him?
Yeah, one, like I remember when we had to shoot, this kind of going off or not off what I said, but like we had to shoot a stationary car for like a day, and a lot of the shoots I don't get to have like a stunt driver to shoot with, or like a camera car or whatever, so it has to be stationary. And just like trying to think of ways, don't just like put the car there and take a photo. Like he would always like have it like parked where like half of it was covered in shadow, or like he would like move in like a very specific way, so like just a shadow was like going right across the car line, just like accentuating the car in different ways, or like using like the environment to like point into the car, and not just like having the car there and like well lit, you know what I mean? It's like, let's get it weirdly lit with shadows and shit. It always looked way cooler.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think a cool thing about that too is like anytime you see something that's really unique shot in a different way, you're like, I could never do that. But you then have that in your like back pocket, almost like, oh shit, I saw this one time.
Right.
I should try this now.
Totally, dude.
So you're like, oh, I saw Aaron do this on this shoot.
Right.
Like I should fucking try that.
And that's why it's so important to consume these creators that we're talking about, is because you never know if you're just on a shoot and you're like, oh, like in subconsciously even it could be, you're like, oh, I remember how Casey put his camera in that weird spot, and I'm going to do that because it looks and then you know what I mean? Like it's important to take inspiration for sure.
And sometimes you do it without even
thinking about it.
Yeah.
You're right. You're just like, this feels right. Why does this feel right? Because like you've seen it before, you know?
Definitely. I think it's super important to, now that you brought that up, is to just talk about how my boss at Oregon told me this when I first started. And he's like, whenever you see like something you're really proud of, that you like someone's work that you're really inspired by, he's like, never take more than 1 to 2 pieces from it, and you'll always be good. And he's like, you'll never be like infringing on that person's, you know what I mean? And I think that right now, a lot of people, you'll watch someone's work 1,000 times, because this is what I did when I started. I would just copy people, and I think it's a great way to start. I really do think it's a great way to start. You watch, like, you're a big fan of Chase's videos, you go watch it, you try and make it exactly like Chase. You'll learn how to make good content.
Sure.
But then when you go out to really post stuff to the world, you take 1 to 2 things from Chase. You take 1 to 2 things from Kostas, 1 to 2 things from Casey Neistat, 1 to 2 things from Sam Kolder.
Right.
And you blend it, put it in a blender, mix it all up.
And add, and automatically you're going to add a little bit of you in there too.
There it is.
You know what I mean?
And I think you come out, that is what merges style. That's where your style comes from.
It's like who you pick from, and then a little bit of you know, a little bit of the pasta water and the sauce, and then bam, dude.
Yeah.
It's because when Sam Kolder came out and people were trying to emulate him, they would have like the squiggly text and the teal and blue
and, like,
the zoom transition and would travel to the same spots. And it's like, okay, this is a fucking Sam Kolder like remake, but you're not as sick as Sam Kolder, so it's not as good.
How funny, really quick sidebar, is the guy, that Russian guy that does all of Jay Alvarez's posts, but is himself, like the exact same, he goes the exact same place, gets the exact same photo, and it's just like him, and he like looks different than Jay Alvarez, but like not quite that much different. It's so fun. He recreates all of his posts. It's the funniest fucking thing in the world.
No way.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah, and you haven't seen it?
No.
It's incredible.
Hilarious.
Yeah, it's so funny.
I met a guy in Bali that looked just like him, had the little, I thought it was him, he had the little weird tats and the same exact
It was
tats.
probably his dick double for that sex tape, you know?
Speaking of dick doubles and Jay Alvarez, we saw Alexis Ren this weekend.
Oh yeah, we
flea market.
saw at the flea market.
We were a little
jealous.
starstruck.
I can't believe it. I can't
she's
believe
bad,
it.
bro.
We walked
Yeah,
right.
what's she like in person?
We just walked
Well,
past
well
her.
I
She's beautiful.
talked to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
I
actually
said,
uses
Chloe, I said,
Is Chloe
Chloe,
now?
I said, Chloe, could you just go with Kostas and go check out those clothes really quick? I'm gonna ask Alexis.
Yeah,
a few
anything you want.
questions.
Here's my card. Here's my
She
card.
said she's a huge fan of the 505 podcast.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
on the topic of that, if we love talking to you guys in public. If you see us and you're a fan of the pod, please come up to us because it it makes my day. Nothing. We met someone at the gym.
Yeah, didn't you get recognized?
Yeah, it was it was by far the coolest thing ever. It was really cool.
Coolest thing ever. Yeah.
Ever, dude. Because I love talking to passionate people.
What's his name? Shout him out.
Calvin?
Calvin, what's up, dude? Calvin, stay in, Jack. I also work at 24 Hour Fitness, but I only am on the outside part because I don't actually pay for the membership because I'm super cheap and they let me in for free outside. So if you want to say what's up, come outside. I'll be there most days from like 11 to noon. Don't kill me, by the way. Now you know where I do go places. I'm not gonna tell you which 24. Only Calvin knows.
That's so funny.
Okay, the next creator that I want to talk about is a YouTuber by the name of Nathaniel Drew. And the reason why I love his videos is he makes YouTube videos all about traveling, but also I wrote it down because it's his content explores the full range of the human experience. So he'll do videos, for example, like he found 3 strangers in Italy and took them to the best, like it's like a 3 Michelin star restaurants, like the best restaurant in Italy.
Wow.
And then like the whole concept was like, I want to meet strangers and take them on this adventure. I'm not going to tell them where we're going. They just have to trust me.
Wild.
And they got to experience and basically have this amazing meal and share conversation. And it was a fucking awesome video. And all of his videos have that same type of like vibe to them. The reason I love his videos so much and his content is because he's one of the few creators I watch his content and I don't get like FOMO or jealous of. It's more so I get real inspired and like it makes me want to be a better person.
Yeah, there's something to that. I don't know how they do that, but there are a few creators. Like Life of Riley is like one of those guys.
Yeah, yes.
Which is so funny because I like spent like a week or 2 weeks with like his little brother, and now I just like understand the whole thing. They use FaceTime like every day. He's just like a good guy, but like we should be jealous. He's like good looking. He just like travels all the time. He has a beautiful girlfriend, but it's like the way he posts or something. It just makes you like, I'm not like sad when I look at it. I'm like pumped for some reason. That's really important. I don't know how they do that, but it is important.
Yeah, and he just comes off very genuine. He comes off as someone you just want to be friends with. And I feel like he has like an old soul. It's like a really good soul. I'd love to meet him one day, but he's someone who, you know, I think he puts videos out every single week. I don't watch like every single week religiously, but every time I find myself watching his videos, I'm like, man, this guy's awesome. And he puts a lot of time and energy into his videos, but like you can just tell he's an awesome guy. He's American, but he's living abroad. And I just like really like his content. If you guys are into that kind of content, I would highly recommend checking him out.
Absolutely.
There's not a ton of people that are super active on YouTube anymore. Do you notice that?
Maybe you're just not consuming it as
Really?
frequently.
Do you feel? I feel like the people that used to be like on very strict upload schedules that I used to love just have
like they just made their bags, man.
They just have moved on to other things.
TikTok and bags.
It's really funny. I watched the Peter McKinnon video today, and he talked about how he was super consistent with 2 Minute Tuesday, and then it was like a whole joke about how like he started off making a 2-minute video, and he did that so that he could have consistency, and it wasn't too long of a video.
Right.
And then 2 minutes turned into 3, then 5, then 8, then 10, and there was an ongoing joke about how 2 Minute Tuesday was never 2 minutes. And then, you know, he missed a week, and it became like inconsistent. So maybe he would post like 2 in a row and then like miss a few months and then get back, and then slowly but surely just like completely fell off. And he was like, he felt bad about that. So he's trying to bring it back, and he's going to do a new segment where like every Tuesday or Wednesday, he's reviewing products that like brands send him.
Sure.
That's fun.
But you're right. I feel like it's hard to stay consistent, especially on YouTube. YouTube's fucking
because
tough.
dude, people burn out too.
Yeah.
Every time I've tried to give YouTube a try, I can bang it hard.
Sure. Attaboy.
Bang it hard for 4 or 5 weeks.
Minutes. Oh.
Got him. That's a little too long. You
What are you, a fucking superstar?
Yeah, Jesus.
That's all that yoga I've been doing.
Holy
4 or 5 weeks, and then something will come up with work, and I'll be like, oh, gotta do work.
Yeah.
And then I'm like sick, and now I'm like, never mind.
It's just life gets in the way. The longest consistency streak I had was when I was studying abroad, of course.
Same, me
posted
too.
1 a week for like almost 4 months. And then even then, dude, I just kind of stopped. Even I was still abroad, I stopped.
Someone DM'd me the other day and was like, I went and watched every YouTube video that you had posted, and he's like, please start posting. And I was like, you might have just given me the confidence I need to try and do it again. Some random person across the country giving me the confidence.
I will say like one one night every like 2 months, I'm like laying in my bed trying to fall asleep, and this realization pops. I'm like, I gotta start posting on YouTube again. This happens like every 2 months, dude. I'm like, I get all pumped. I think I like, plan out every video, and then I wake up in the morning. I'm like, no chance,
Dude, I'm the king of getting motivated one day and being like, that's it. My life is changed.
Yeah.
I'm this way for the rest of my life, forever. These changes, and then just fall off. I will say, I think this podcast is the most consistent I've been with.
Big rock.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think
That's fine.
this podcast is like the most consistent I've been with anything.
What episode are we at right now?
This is like
23?
I think 22 or 23.
I'm really impressed with us doing this every
too.
week because it really like I love doing it, but damn, is it hard?
Fuck, is it hard?
It's also fun too because
We really do all love it.
we've been getting real fucking busy lately.
Yeah.
And it's fun
So
though
busy.
because it's like we've been getting so busy that it's like almost nice because I'm just like I just gotta like catch up with my buddies.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Shoot the shit.
Yeah. But anyways, you got any more creators?
I'll give you one more. I think one of my other favorite creators is Casey Neistat's old assistant, Dan Mase, because Dan mixes so many different forms of mediums
so true.
into his videos. It's like the videos got to take months in my head to like make, and he makes them so fast.
Yeah.
He does like stop motion, videography, photography, storytelling,
Weird film stuff.
weird
all the time.
film shit.
Where does he find that
Dude,
shit?
he's an OG in the ad world, but as a creative and a creative director
He
vibe.
used to like direct big spots.
Huge spots. Yeah. So he was in the ad world forever. And like, I just think that he is literally what a creative director should be.
I agree.
Where you can do like fucking all kinds of different mediums and you really do have an idea of how that end spot is going to look.
You can feel he's just a creative motherfucker.
Oh
dude.
God. He's
Like
crazy.
so creative. I love it.
He's
dude.
crazy. I love him. I think that when there was a period of time where he was editing Casey's vlogs and they just had some pizzazz about him a little bit.
He's funny too.
Yeah. Creative fella. And he's from South Africa and his humor is just, he's a
Yeah, I
little
love it.
character.
Super dry.
Yeah, I
he's
love
funny.
that.
Bro.
Yeah, bro, the sharks in the water.
Bro.
Bro.
Yeah.
South
Bro.
Africa.
He is one person who I watch and I'm like, man, this is unique. Like,
Yeah.
so
it's not
unique.
like anybody else.
Man, I feel like watching one of his videos right now.
Yeah.
Cut to us watching the video. That'd be so funny. Anyways, I'm gonna go with. I was gonna say Van Neistat, and I'll give him a quick honorable mention. We just really have gone through like the whole Tom Sachs Neistat family already, but his recent posts on YouTube, especially when they first started, when you and I were crushing them together, the dude is just. God, he's cool. He's like calms me down.
Same.
He really inspires me in a way that Casey used to, where it's like I want to get new perspective on. I want to start like doing stuff with my hands all of a sudden. You know what I mean?
Build some shit.
I feel like the best creators can like get you interested in what they're interested, even if you weren't interested in that before.
I like that.
So like Bill Simmons, for example, this is kind of like a segue, or not a segue, but off topic. He's a podcaster, right? It's called The Podfather. Big podcast guy. He was obsessed with the NBA. And like he's into like WWE wrestling, but he's mostly just like the NBA guy. Like he loves the Celtics, wrote the book of basketball, etc.
Terrible team.
I wasn't that into fucking NBA because the Timberwolves have sucked my whole life, right? But I just like Bill Simmons. So someone sent me his podcast, I started listening to it, and I'm like, I don't care about the NBA. I just like hearing this guy talk. Now I'm I know the standings, top to bottom, East and West. I know who's making the playoffs just because of fucking Bill Simmons. I just like the podcast.
So does Braden. Braden knows
Right.
a lot.
A lot about basketball. But so I feel like the best creators do that. And Van has got me super into just like trying to be like handy, or like I bought a Swiss Army knife because not his, just a Swiss Army
You
knife.
bought a Swiss Army knife because of Van.
Yeah. I was just about to say that.
Yeah, Chase is like, dude, I need to be more handy.
Yeah. You think, because it's fucking Van, dude. And because someo's got to be fucking handy in this apartment. Dude.
Yeah,
Not
not
yeah.
me and Ghost. There's no chance.
So yeah, shout out to Van. I also wanted to say really quick, Tim Kellner, Tim to the Wild. He's just the go-to composition, man. It's just him and a tripod, I'm pretty sure. And he just makes the most beautifully composed shots. And it's just cool. It's just like so impressive what he does.
It's almost the opposite of Casey.
Right, sure. Where it's like, it's super mellow. And it's just like, I think he makes the music himself too, which is really impressive. It's just a locked off shot. It's just like the best composition in the fucking world. Like beautiful light, but it's all natural usually. And he'll just like walk through it or something. And there's very little camera movement. And it just creates like a vibe. Like it just creates an energy of the place he was in, beautifully colored, beautifully composed. And it's really nice to just watch that and kind of get inspiration from a totally different form of like video making.
I love that. I totally forgot about these guys, and I want to give them an honorable mention. I have
love
another
that.
creator, Colin Samir. The reason I thought of it is because they just had Van Neistat on their podcast.
It was good.
And you should watch it if you're into it. I watched it, and I don't think I'm as into Van just because I'm just not that handy of a guy. And like, I think I need to give his videos a try, but like not really my thing.
Also, so interesting macro lens. The use of macro shots in his videos are just fucking awesome.
Chase has been trying to get me to buy a macro lens
for so
like
long,
9
dude. We got to
years.
split it, dude. It's not that expensive.
Let's buy it.
Macro is sick. We should have one of those. I really do like Colin and Samir. I remember showing Braden them, 2 years ago? And they weren't that big, but like I just loved that they would talk about other creators and they really formed their own lane. And now they fucking blew up, and I just really love them as creators. So I just want to give them a shout out. But this guy by the name of Evan Larsen, he creates recap videos and video content for Win in Vegas. His fucking recap videos are unlike anything I've ever seen.
Really?
Because he's unbelievable at like After Effects and Cinema 4D. So he'll put out recap videos. It'll take him a little bit longer to put them out. But man, when he puts them out, just like seamless transitions as fuck.
Sure.
And it's just like his shot selection, his cinematography. I'm like, man, this dude really understands how to fucking shoot a nightclub and just like a concert and just an experience at Win. And his stuff is amazing. And like, as someone who has recently got into the field of, concert photography, video, shooting nightclubs, concerts, it's really inspiring to see. And he's like the one person, and he's not even that popping. I think he's got like 3,000 or 4,000 followers on the gram.
He just rips.
But man, his stuff is just like, it's unbelievable. And I watched it and I'm like, I'll just watch his stuff and be like, this shit is crazy.
That's so dope.
Yeah.
Last one I'm going to throw out there is Vincent Urban. This guy
He's
is
a man.
only on Vimeo.
Just the Godfather.
You're great at making videos if you're only on
Yeah,
Vimeo,
100%.
dude. What a flex.
Yeah, Vincent Urban. A friend showed me him when I first got into filmmaking, my year one, and he goes, "This is the man. This is the blueprint." Okay, so I downloaded all of his videos and I put him in 50% on my timeline, and I would just scrub to try and figure out how he did all of his that's how I would learn how to do transitions. I would just download them 50%, and that's how I'd learn. And his stuff he's the OG travel video. This is where all these travel guys, he's the first one to do it all. He did it like 10 years ago or 50. And his videos 15 years ago look better than whatever is out right now.
Yeah, he's crazy, man.
Everything's shot on like an Airy. It's like just gorgeous.
His quality is pretty out of this world.
Yeah, everything is insane. And he'll do like these campaigns for tourism boards, for airlines, for car companies.
It is sick car stuff.
Oh, he's
like
insane.
The sickest.
That's also super interesting. He's like Sam Kolder without like a
social
mirrorless or DSLR
Yeah,
camera.
sure, yeah, definitely.
Like if Sam Kolder went like
he did the hyperlapses first,
right?
Yeah.
If Sam Kolder went like big ad route, kind of.
Yep, definitely, 100%.
And if he shot stuff on like a red.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely
so sick.
It's crazy. And Vincent Urban is one of the people that I think really molded a lot of my style. It's crazy.
For sure.
Give me another one. Rattle me off one.
Well, I think I'm gonna go with. You know who I'm gonna go with? I'm gonna go with you guys. Like, no cap, dude. Braden, you taught me how to use audio. Do you think I use a good at a microphone? Not really. And Kosta's kind of the goat of the ND filters, Oh,
yeah?
And honestly, like, no, seriously, though, you guys do inspire me all the time. Like, just living with you guys and, like, seeing you work all the time, as well as just, like, the stuff you make. It's dope. And it's different. We all, like, make different stuff, but we're all, like, in a similar, like, level and stuff. So it's really, like, fun to be like, oh, yeah, that's how we did that. That's really fun. We, like, just constantly learning. And I love that shit.
There's a word there. Is it implore? Is that what I'm looking for? Implore everyone?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too,
I
right?
think you're using it right.
Finish the sentence.
I implore everyone to go and try and live with creative people to be able to. Nope. So that word doesn't fit.
No, I'm gonna give it to you though.
Is it not fit? I'm trying.
Leave a comment if you nailed it
God,
or
I
not.
fucked it up.
But
I
yeah.
feel like go live with creative people if you want to do this as a career, because it'll skyrocket you times 10 whatever you're able to do living by yourself.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more.
And
I like that.
And I think, ladies and gentlemen, that is where we're going to wrap up this episode of the 505 Pod.
Absolutely.
If you're still here, please drop a screenshot on your story. It helps us out so much more than you know. And we are going to be dropping some fun stuff here in the next few months. So you need to stay tuned. Subscribe, like, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment one more time.
Comment, like, subscribe.
Comment, like, subscribe. We'll see you guys all next time. Peace.
Bye.
Peace.